Okay, hello and welcome on board this Royal Bhutan Airlines Drukair flight from Delhi to Paro. Paro is a very challenging approach up in the Himalayas. Now, typically, Drukair do operate flights between Delhi and Paro. They operate an A319. In fact, an A319 seems to be the largest thing that flies into Paro. I don't have an A319, so we're going to see if I can land an Airbus A320. Should be interesting. It's a very difficult approach, very short runway. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for sure. Right, let's get ourselves set up and underway. So this flight, incidentally, has been inspired by a flight by another YouTuber, Rob Miller. I saw the other day. I'll link in his page and video in the end credits and underneath in the description here. So he actually has the A scenery for Paro. I'm just using the default scenery, which I've already seen it because I've already tried this flight once. Unfortunately, Orbit screwed up with Vector and it was a big hole in the ground, but nonetheless I've seen I've seen the area. So it's obviously, the scenery is obviously not as good as a payware scenery, but we shall see how we get on. Anyway, ignition selector normal. Let's see, battery 1 2's on. AP master switch. Oh, we'll start up the APU in just a second. Right, let's just set up my fuel. So one thing I learned from that initial approach, which screwed up thanks to, I didn't want to call it X-Enviro Vector, Orbix Vector, is that you totally, after a point, need to ignore the VNAV because otherwise you just come in way too high. I'm also going to try and go literally as slow as I can without stalling to make up for the fact that we're a larger aircraft than typically flies into this location. So hopefully a combination of that should enable us to land successfully. We shall see. What am I doing? What menu? Can we have, I don't, options, that's the one. There we go, fuel. So fuel we're carrying today is going to be 7472. 7472. And our payload, zero fuel weight, 60.5. Okay. It's going to init screen in a minute. APU bleed. Set on. Let's get the ideas up and running. Emergency lights. Landing elevation. Strobe lights to auto. Altimeter. Set. And we'll program up the FMC now. So here we go. We are flying from VIDP to VQPR. Cost index, I imagine, is going to be 40. Cruising altitude is going to be flight level 370. Flight time in the region, just over 2 hours from here in Delhi. Zero fuel rate, 7.4. We'll put 7.5 actually. Oh, sorry, block fuel, not zero fuel weight. The fuel weight now, 60.5. Is going to give us a centre of gravity 34.1. which is, and we'll put 1 down on the performance. Okay, so to the flight plan, we're departing out from runway 28 via the A320 departure, and then from Ali we want R460 to LKN. And from LKN we're on A201. Oops. PPT. Q18. PGD. G348. Subsea. So we're approaching on the runway 15 approach on F15. No ILS here, of course. The Subsea 1 arrival via PR888. Back to the performance page. Flex temperature 40. And we'll plug in those V speeds. Alright. And there. Clear that out. Align in 3 minutes. Just waiting that to do its thing. ATCAS on standby. Well, we can actually turn it on already. Thrust levers, weather radar, so that is aligned. So seatbelts, no smoking, and beacon lights. Seatbelts, no smoking, and beacon all on. We'll get a weather briefing in a moment. So we prepare to depart out from Delhi. In fact, I thought I had active sky. Yes, I have put it on. I thought I hadn't turned it on for a minute. Okay, visibility is not great here in Delhi. That's typical because it is often smoggy and hazy here. Temperature is 28 degrees. And our destination station. Ooh, yes. That's going to make life interesting. Last time I did this, the temperature's amazingly warmer. Last time I had a go at this, when there's a big hole in the ground, it was snowing, but nice and calm. This time we're up against 20 knot winds gusting to 33. Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to complete this flight. I'm going to do my usual pause at top of descent. I'm going to go off and do other stuff, so I'm hoping by the time I come back that has died down, because otherwise that is going to make a next to impossible landing even more impossible. So yeah, for you, the viewer, you're probably hoping the weather's still going to be like that when I return later to complete this flight. Obviously it'll be seamless because I will post edit this video to get rid of the massive long pause space. Okay, we've just got to wait and then we'll be able to push back momentarily. We've got the fuel on board we need. Just wait for the IR to be in alignment. Should happen any time now. Should happen any time now. Now. There we go. It's alive. Fabulous. G6. Prepare for pushback. I couldn't be bothered with all the boarding, loading stuff. Apologies for that if you like that sort of thing. I don't even have the GSX version with all the little people who walk on the plane either. I would love to have time to look at all that fluff, but typically I don't. I'm lucky if I have time just to take off and land, so yeah. Oh, to be free, young and single again.
Look, Captain, we're ready for pushback. Looking here.
Quite a nice livery. I like the sort of the dragon on the tail. I presume Druk translates as dragon or something. That's my random guess. Okay, so we're doing nose to the left.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes. Good racing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Thank you very much. Don't mind if I do. So yeah, my first time flying from the Indian continent, subcontinent, whatever you call it, India. Does the Indian subcontinent? I've heard that phrase. Does that literally just mean India, or does it mean more? I have to Google that in a minute. We're in India. I've not flown in India on sim before, or indeed at real life actually. It's again one of those places that I really want to explore when the new simulator comes out, because I'm sure the scenery. There's only Orbix Global, and that tends to be quite repetitive. So yeah. Is there ever a day in Delhi where there's not haze and smog? If you're from that area or have been there, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure there is, but I have heard it does have a reputation for that. So please correct me if that's incorrect. In most of the days it's actually not like this. So let's see, fuel pumps, I did put them all on. Yeah, I'm not that much of an idiot for once. Okay, ignition selector, we can switch back to normal because we could start both engines, more or less. Eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that I don't entirely follow all the proper procedures. Take a little bit of artistic license here and there.
Set parking brakes.
Putting brakes set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Yeah, you'll get that in a minute, my friend. That's a new feature of GSX. Wasn't there previously. Can't find it a bit annoying, to be honest with you. Sometimes if you have like an icing pushback and they tell you not to start engines till pushback complete, they say waiting confirmation good engine start, you started your engine, so yeah. Let's switch off.
Unlocking gear.
So let's enter no sight. So whack those bad boys on.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass
I think
being
we already set
removed.
the altimeter, didn't we? Set the weather radar up momentarily. There we go. Weather radar is up and running. Takeoff config. Let's check that. Takeoff config is normal.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Fabulous. So yeah, just kind of get out my way then, might be an idea. His arm looks rather long. Like Mr. Tickle. Have a good trip, right. Do our best. Have a better trip if you get your bloody ground handling thing out of my way. Let's just run him over, shall we? It's gone. Okay, we'll mosey on down to the end of runway 28, where we will depart out before making I think a left turn, out over loads of places. Norman, what have I told you about interrupting me?
Hello, it's Norman. That's the cabin secure for takeoff.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
What else were you going to be doing with your time? You know, you won't be sat up the back playing drafts with the first officer or something, were you? No, you're going to be getting the cabin ready. Even though I've got a thing that tells me all the doors are shut, you have to tell me they are. Cabin is secure from what? The zombie apocalypse? There we go. No one's getting in, no one's getting out. Cabin is secured. So yeah, I have a bit of trepidation about this flight. I have a feeling it's going to end. Oops, it's going to end in disaster now if I don't get this taxiing right. I have a feeling it's going to end up in disaster because I've seen the runway already when it was that big, even though it was a big hole in the expected ground, and it really isn't very long. In fact, my charts have it as being. No, I don't have that chart up actually. It's about. Why don't I have that chart up? It's weird. Why wouldn't I have that chart up? Oh. Chart list, please, my friends. Yeah, let's get the airport info up. Yeah, the runway's literally 7,400 feet long, or at least it is now. I actually, looking at the default scenery, I don't actually think it's that long. I think it's shorter. I think it's only about 5,000–6,000 feet long. It certainly does not in any way look 7,500 feet long. You'll see what I mean when I get there. So maybe if I had the add-on scenery, it'd give me a longer runway. But see, I'm making excuses already for not being able to do this. But we'll give it a best shot. Don't be surprised if it ends up going ever so slightly wrong. Why have I got that chart up? Oh, because I want the RNAV chart open on the star chart. There we go. Pretty hazy, isn't it? Okay. So as I say, I'll depart output flaps up. You'll get the usual sped up main bit of the flight, and then I'll be back on voice for the descent into hell, or Paro, as it's sometimes known as. So yeah, I think this will go a long way to showing why you can only get an A319 in there. On the contrary, if this is a success, I may do a follow-up video and try and get the 777 in there. Just joking. But having said that, that seems to always slow down quite quickly. I'm sure if I really did it right, I might just be able to pull that off. Yeah, maybe I do that as a special. But well, no, I like to try and keep things real. Obviously, as I said already, Drukair do not operate the A320. However, I was managed to get their livery on an A320. FS Labs. Okay, let's line up, flick a few switches, and depart out. Bound for Paro. I want to change my runway textures. To go on Rex World Airports or textures or whatever I've got it set up on. Change them. Let's see. So strobes on, landing lights on, takeoff light on, packs off. Why is it saying that? You turn the packs off for departing out. God, Jesus, stupid thing. Right, packs off. Set the clock. Okay, let's power up. Let's get out of here. I'm sure I'm not. I mean, the thrust levers, of course. If thrust levers are set, just you know what? The Airbus is so finicky like this, I find. Or at least the FS Labs one is. Airspeed's alive. That's the main thing. 100 knots coming up. Rotate on 142. And then we'll slam it straight. We've not got the auto throttle on, that's probably mine. For some reason. Rotate. And we're up and away. Okay, positive rate, gear up, autopilot on, auto throttle on, there we go, and we will ease straight back. There we are, that's the one we should have. Don't know why the auto throttle didn't come on. It's interesting. Let's just whack it. Yeah, so we'll do a left turn in a minute. Continue our climb. We can put the packs back on. Okay. Climb thrust. Get the lights turned off already. There we go. Off, 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 off. Off. Seatbelts will come off as well. Normally you wouldn't turn any of that off so soon, but go off in a minute. I'm even going to already early switch over standard QNH. And we shall leave you with the flaps going up on the wing view. 37,000 feet set. It's going to go wrong.
Selection of fresh food available today. All details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards.
See you later.
The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
join us on approach top of descent. Let's get that weather report. Oh yeah, it's died right down, hasn't it? Nice and calm. Excellent. Was, as you remember, gusting earlier. So that 1014. Temperature is going to be -4. That final speed we need to slow right down. So say out. There we go. I'll plug in 13,800 shortly. I will leave constraints, I won't put airports back on. Okay, we begin our descent. Down into Paro. So we get this right. Interesting. Live ATC from Bangkok. Let's see these charts. So 13,800 PVA 16. That leaves us only 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So none of these are working. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles to drop. 6,000 feet, so 1,000 feet per mile. Yeah, we just need to slow down. Why don't they build the airport out? That's a nice flat bit. No, they had to go put it right in amongst the mountains, didn't they? Gee, things. I guess whoever decided to put an airport there must just hate pilots. Getting a few bumps foothills ahead of us there. I'm having much luck with live ATC recently. It's hardly surprising with the massive reduction in flights globally. So a bit, I give up with Bangkok. Let's see what we can get. Asia-wise, what we've got China. Then Beijing, let's try that. Beijing Tower, let's see what that gives me. Yes, by PR816 we want to slow to minimum speed. We dare. And then as soon as we hit that ridge, which is 13,600 feet, then we start dropping right down. As soon as we clear that ridge. Check on the 13,800 by 814, I think we should be at 13,300. By 812, we should be at 12,000. 810, we should still be 11,000. And 808, 10,000. 808 is literally bang over, that's ridiculous, that can't be that altitude. Yeah, see, 808 needs to be 7,364, but that's why, so we can't, that's why we can't rely on the VNAV, because these values are all wrong. So if I put slash, let's say, 7364 for argument's sake, let's put 7800 just for, yeah, put that in, insert, there we go. Okay, so we've got a bit of weather to contend with upon arrival. 7,800, let's calm that down now. So, okay, I'm going to start slowing down in a minute. For now. Since we hit this next. Start slowing the plane at 185 speed. That's what we want. Up here on H1014. That's good. It's nice and systems on. Some conditions. Bit of cloud to contend with, but the plane is slowing nicely. So the clouds are not going to be a problem. next one. Quarter brake. It's not going to let us choose max. Maybe. I don't know why it doesn't. Stuff this up. Don't be on this map by now. 4's just there. Getting a bit of rain. Surprised it's rain, not snow actually. Say 1.6. Drop right down. Turn that off. It's a nightlight. This is such a dramatic approach. Somehow it sounds right down. As we're doing now. See what we can get ourselves slowed down to, shall we? Where are we? Damn it. Risk 135. So 816. This next check here. Risk any slower than that. Quarter brake is armed, landing gear is down, ground spoilers are armed. Oh, you can feel the tension in the cockpit. So we'll make that turn, we've just got to clear this ridge here. And then it's a rapid descent down. Incredible place to fly into. Just as tricky as hell. Stand by to go manual. The autopilot.
2000.
So high. Try and save ourselves with the speed brake.
2500. Hundred above. Minimum 2000.
Danger of overspeeding here. that speed down. Really got to get that speed down. Trouble is the runway is just there.
1,000.
A wet runway as well. Oh crap.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Pull up. 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 Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
40, 30, 20. Retard.
Oh,
Retard.
that's very hard. Shit.
5.
Let's try and at least not go off the end of the runway. Which I don't think I'm going to manage not to, because it's wet and I'm in a big plane. Oh, yeah. Come on. Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah, this plane's just too big. Could have done without the bounce. That's as good as it's going to get, folks. Try to imagine what that landing looked like. Damn it, sink rate just got me. Couldn't pull out in time. Yeah, this plane is just too big to bring in here. Actually, I just want to check something. Yeah, you know, I'm going to check it now. How big is this runway? Oh, no, I don't want to do that, you idiot. Oh, you moron. What the hell is this doing now? Apologies for this. I clicked totally the wrong thing. I wanted to see how long the runway was. And I pressed OK instead of cancel. Oh, hello. Interesting. The hell? Hold on a minute. Navigation. Map. The runway is 6,522 feet. On my chart here, it says it's 7,400. Yeah, I thought as much. So we might as well turn everything off here and do the replay. Hold on a minute, because I just realised. Okay, so let's do the replay, see how bad that was. God, that was horrendous. We couldn't have been much lower there, you see, because of that ridge. It's just not happening in this plane, is it? We almost did it. Flare, just hard landing, bounce. That bounce killed me. That's why we went off the end of the runway. And then because the runway is also wet, I think it's easier to slow down. Close but no cigar. Let's have a wing view of our arrival. So that just about brings us to the end of this challenge. I realised you had to try to fly the same ground was choosing this one as you were planning on a browsing journey. I hope to welcome you back on board the flight in the very near future. Don't forget to have your virtual boarding card with you by liking, subscribing, and then you never need miss another flight. Please ensure you've collected all your belongings from the overhead compartments. But be careful when opening, as items may have shifted during the flight. Definitely shifted during that landing. So to answer the question, can you land an A320 at Paro with the default scenery? No. If I had the payware scenery with the longer runway, I actually reckon I could do it. We almost pulled that landing off, you know. We almost managed it. Almost. But we had to go some on that descent. Boy, did we have to go some on that descent. Oof. God, I dread to imagine what that landing rate was. I don't have it recorded, but that was bad. Okay, that brings us to the end of this flight. Until next time.